But if you delve deeper into your own psyche, you can always reach that point where you see, yes, there was some distortion in my thinking. So it is the thinking in which I am more interested, not in the fact of a small act of wearing gold or thing. They are small things. Thinking and thought processes are far more important. They should be kept purified. So as such, I should not go for recommendation of ties, silk ties, etc. They always, give you an air of over-refinement, which is perhaps prohibited. Man should always have some manliness, some toughness and roughness in his character and style of life. We should differentiate him from feminine behavior. So the purpose will be defeated. So it's better to avoid such things. Because intention, I am quite sure, underlying intention will always be wrong.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Nusratullah Mir from Manchester.
Yes, you are the grandchild of Apaslim Amir.
That's right.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's your maternal grandmother, eh?
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
As a Muslim, I understand that the object of human existence is to achieve consciousness of God and become a manifestation of His attributes. Am I correct in believing that?
Please, yes.
Right.
So far.
Yeah. However, it is clear that God takes away the lives of some human beings without giving them the opportunity of achieving this objective. In particular, I would like you to explain from an Islamic point of view, what is the fate of infants and children on the Day of Judgment?
Yes. There are two questions, in fact, rolled in one. As far as the second part of the question is concerned, it's easier to understand and explain. I'll begin with that. As far as the children are concerned, they're closer to God and their objective. Because they have not yet reached an age where they would be tried and also gradually influenced by ungodly conducts, behaviors, etc. They would not be tempted by Satan, because that's an age of innocence. So that is why the Holy Quran says that all children are created on nature. And the nature, what is nature? Fitrat Allah illati. That is the nature of God on which every child is created. So they have already achieved the end by the act of their being born. So as they travel more towards the maturity, they gradually become transformed slowly and steadily, and they begin to make choices, and also wrong choices. In the early childhood, not very early childhood, but some early childhood. And there they can be monitored as moving in the right direction or the wrong direction. So once a course of action is set, then when it is extended and projected further into the age of maturity, then it begins to manifest itself as a pious behavior or as an evil behavior. So when such children are called back by God, they are fortunate in the sense that they were saved the trials and the possibility of failure, but they are not fortunate in another sense because the trials are not meaningless. If you go through the age of trial and then achieve something, that is a much higher achievement than the possibility of your never being tried and remaining correct. So for that God would compensate. It has been said in by the Holy Prophet in a tradition that such people who die early before reaching the age of maturity, they will be forgiven, of course, because they have not sinned. But they have missed something. And that something will be taught to them in the hereafter by Hadhrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He said God would have an institution in the hereafter for training such children who died earlier and who have not reached the purpose of the creation of mankind. So for that they will go through a long period of training in the hereafter, and after they have passed that school, which will be governed by, Allah has told us, governed by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Then inshallah, God willing of course, they will be treated at par with the rest of humanity, at par with those who succeeded in life and became good people. The second part, when God decides to have someone called back to him, that is when he decides for someone to die, by that time his trends are already visible and understandable. He's already started moving in a certain trajectory. If life comes earlier, man can see only a small portion of that trajectory. But if extended further, you can see that he will move in the same direction until he reaches that point. So when you consider a man dying at a mature age, mistakenly you think that should be enough. But if you think in terms of eternity, the question would arise, why end him up there? Only 70 years, 80 years, maybe if he had lived much longer, 1,000 years or so, maybe he had rectified himself or changed from bad to good or good to bad. So the question will always arise. The decision is taken by an all-knowing being who knows to what degree a man has got fixed in his goodness or in his badness. As such, the Holy Quran repeatedly tells us that when at the time of death or after death, at the time of death a man says, "Oh God, give me more time, I will do good deeds." Or after death he says, "Send me back to the earth, this time I promise I will do good deeds." He is a liar. Even if we had sent him back, he would do exactly the same things as he did previously. This is in fact, the human finding in relation to all mankind, that this is true, this is exactly how man behaves. When somebody is about to die, he or she, they say, "Oh, we were not just to you, we were not this to that, and if we were given a more lease of life, a longer lease of life, we will mend these ways and we will be very kind to you," and this and that. They never do. Whenever they are saved, they begin to behave exactly the same way. So the question of coming to an end early or later is immaterial. God knows whether some characters have got fixed or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many more questions and how many more minutes? Imam Sahib?
There are perhaps 3 people who want
Just okay. Two. Okay, good. Inshallah we'll be able to handle these questions within that period, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Hazur. Khwaja Sharif, I'm from North London.
Yes.
Mine is a very brief question. Hazur, I have been trying to find the answer to a question that whether or not there can be a remotely possible occasion when a woman can lead a prayer where men are in the congregation. Hazur, I have
already spoken on this issue repeatedly, so you better get hold of the cassette, the relevant cassette, and you will find the answer.
While standing on my legs, Sir Hazur, can you briefly say whether or not they can?
I have already spoken on this subject with reasons why not, and the answer is not.
Hazur, then why
women cannot lead men?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
This requires a longer answer.
Yeah.
With full